Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm bringing you a really basic pasta recipe, and these are really some of my favorite types of things to cook because you take these really base ingredients of, just onions, carrots, garlic, things of that nature, and maybe, tomatoes, maybe some sausage, and then you just build up the flavor profile until at the end you just have this masterpiece of flavor. And in reality, it wasn't all that complicated. So this recipe came together in just 25 minutes. So without further ado, let's get cooking.
So here's just a quick shot of our ingredients, and I'll have the recipe listed in the description below, so you don't need to worry about any of that now. And then, like I said, this was 25 minutes, so I'll start a stopwatch and kind of update you guys throughout. So the pasta water is going to be the most important when it comes to timing because that is what actually takes the longest. So I'm starting that first. And then we're moving to our sausage. I'm just removing it from the casing. And then we're going to fry that up in the pan. And then just break it apart into pieces. Make sure it fries down evenly. And then while it is frying, we're going to prepare our vegetables, which is sofrito. Sofrito is a base, and this is really what is used to build the flavor of the sauce. So I'm using a quarter of an onion, half a carrot, and a clove of garlic, and just blending this all up. And then that's going to saute down and be the base of our sauce. And you can see we're about 5 minutes in right now. And then this is still while that sausage is browning down. We're going to prepare kind of our cream component. So I'm quickly beating an egg, adding about a half a cup of ricotta cheese, and then stirring this all together. And this is going to give us this nice creamy component. I'm actually going to mix it in with the tomato sauce later and also just pour it over top. And then make sure you add in some fresh ground pepper, some more flavor. And then most importantly is get some Parmesan in there. The ricotta is pretty subtle itself, so adding that Parmesan provides a lot more flavor. And then rounding out our chopping, I'm just going to chop up some rosemary, which is another component to our sauce. And then we're going to open up our plum tomatoes. So now the sausage has been well and fried. I'm just going to drain it on the paper towel, get rid of some of that extra fat. But important, I don't want to get rid of all of it because I'm leaving a little bit in the pan, and that's what we're going to use to actually fry our vegetables that we just made. So here we come in with our sofrito, and then just stirring this up, adding in some salt, making sure we're getting those flavors all in well together. And then now I'm going to come in with that rosemary that we chopped up, and the smells coming off the pan right now are starting to really envelop the kitchen. And then we can see also our pasta water is ready. So putting a healthy handful of salt in and tossing in our pasta. Back to our sofrito. Once that is gone for a couple minutes, we're going to toss in the tomatoes. And then this seemed a little bit thick to me, so I added a little bit of water. You can adjust that as needed depending on your preference. We're going to let this simmer down for a little while. And then I'm going to toss in some of that fresh basil. And all I did was quickly chop that up. And once again, just stir that in and let that simmer down for a little while longer. And let's just sit and listen to this bubble for about 10 seconds. And here we're just going to toss in our sausage, and our journey is just about done. So think about how we built the flavor to this sauce. We sauteed our sausage first, then using the fat left over, we sauteed our sofrito in there, we added some rosemary, and then we added salt and let everything stew down together, threw in the basil at the end, and added the sausage back, and then it's off to the pan. And here we're at 22 minutes, and I'm basically done, just waiting on the pasta. So to do that, I'm going to toss a little water in the pan and some sauce, and then I'm going to transfer in some of our pasta. And you don't need to do it like this. This is kind of like a single serving thing. Cook the sauce with the pasta, just to finish it. You could also just throw and drain it all together and just mix everything together, whichever you prefer. But I like doing this way. You help the sauce kind of cook in with those noodles, and I think it makes a better product. And so as we're just stirring this up, I'm going to throw in some of our ricotta and Parmesan cheese mixture. Let that give us that nice creamy component. And then I'm going to toss in a little bit more sauce. And then we're basically done. You could eat this right now as is and take a look at the timer. And we're just about 27 minutes. So now I'm going to plate this bad boy up. And let's enjoy. All right, to plate this up, all we're going to do is throw it in a bowl. I'm going to add a little bit more sauce, and then we're going to add that cream. And I will throw the nutrition and price information on screen now so you can take a look at that. And we are done. This dish is just lovely and tasty. It's spicy. We've got the creamy component, a little bit of sweetness. We've got the basil topping. And just look at that. Can't beat it. 25 minutes, and there we go. And let's go to the taste test.
Here's the first taste test. Should we get a bite with everything in there? Yeah, it's really good. You get the spiciness from the Italian sausage. That rosemary really comes through. You get kind of the subtle sweetness of the basil, and then you get this nice creamy component from our ricotta and Parmesan. I mean, that's just that's a winner meal right there. I mean, literally comes together in 25, 30 minutes tops, just as long as it takes to actually boil the pasta itself. I mean, you cannot beat that in a meal, especially on like a weeknight or when you're busy. I mean, wow. It's just phenomenal. I really like these noodle shapes too. They really get the sauce and all the little ridges.
So that is going to wrap it up for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe below. And I'll catch you in the next one.